Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler 2 with me, Herd 37. So I'm trying to remember where we left off in our last episode. I was actually flying up to Cincinnati with a bunch of stuff, and right as I was approaching the runway, I was almost there. All of a sudden my computer blue screened on me, and I think it was getting too hot in the room, and I'm sure the computer just overheated. It was getting a little too hot. It was extremely hot in here, and so it blue screened. I'm trying to remember exactly what we did. I believe we went over to these factories, because I've got this stuff loaded up. If you remember, we were making clothes, and I think it just took a while, to make the clothes and everything. Finally, it got all done. I also had used the chemicals when I had made some plastics. So let's go over here. I'll show you in the fleet. Load and unload. We've got a range, 14 gallons, range for 134 nautical miles. And we have 418 pounds of clothes, 125 pounds of plastics, and we have 273 pounds available in the plane. So I was, if you remember, I said, because we got to go from Huntington to Cincinnati. I showed this earlier. I didn't think there was any commodities. All the commodities seemed to be more expensive in Huntington than Cincinnati, so it wasn't going to be worth it. But I did find one. This is Cincinnati KCVG. The cigarettes are 136, which is pretty daggone expensive. And cigarettes in Huntington, where we're taking off, are only 115. So we can make some like $21 a pound for them. We won't be able to buy his 273 pounds worth though, because we don't have that much money. We got like $9 grand in the bank right now. But let's buy some of these. I don't know how many we can actually buy out. The maximum is, see, that's, yeah, 31,000. Let's say, I'm not sure if we can, I can't even afford 100. 9,200. I think do we have that? I should have not let those go to the base. Let's go back over to fleet, load. Let's load up these cigarettes. So we have 193 pounds available, but we don't have money. Oh my God, we're actually in debt. But when we take these clothes up there, those clothes, because if you remember, let's see. It's weird how these windows always pop up like that as you go on. It's kind of weird. Let's see, missions for KCVG. I'll show you how much, because we got plastics too. Now we got the cigarettes and the missions. If you remember, $96 per pound up to 441. We've got like 400 pounds. I think it pays over like 40 grand or something. So that's going to be a huge payday for us. And when we do that, we can actually, since there probably won't be a job going back to Huntington, one thing we could do is just fly back here. And there's like watches, I think, pays really good for taking from Cincinnati here. Also, we've got like textiles. We can make more clothes or something. We can also use that 40 grand. Remember at Huntington, there's both electronics and batteries, so we can make battery packs and then at our base basically and sell them right back to our base. So that'll be pretty sweet. As long as it makes money, because I mean, we obviously have to pay for the raw materials. But let's go over here and look at FlightSim Commander. We'll use the tower to tell us where to take off. Hopefully it's runway 30. It usually is. And for the wind, we're going to come in on 18 right. I love 18 right because we can literally pull right off and park over there. I can't remember if you all have seen. I don't think you all actually did. I think those got blue screen. The one before I wasn't recording because we were just going on up there. I should have taken cigarettes. I wish I would have noticed that. All right, 18 right. The ILS frequency is 110.75. The course is 186 degrees. I think in FSX it's actually like 184 though. The runway is 8,000 feet long. The touchdown point is 868 feet. Airport elevation 896. We're gonna come in here over at Drake at 5,000, Opus at 4,000, Brittle at 3,000, and Kirthy at 2,400. Although we won't go all the way out here. There's no point. We're gonna do a shorter approach, of course. Started to do that, and as you can see, it's actually in Covington, Kentucky. I think I talked about that in the last episode. Alright, anyhow, let's go over here to our fleet. Fly this aircraft. We're going up to KCVG. KCVG. We got our fuel, of course, clothing, plastic, and cigarettes. We got this thing loaded up. We got 707 total pounds. Alright. VFR, 6,500 feet. 1852, no thanks. 1252 will be alright. Last position. Alright, let's go ahead and go on over to the plane. Alright, everybody, here we are at the plane. I can't remember if this is where we ended up last time or not, because I've been starting up with myself and using network mode and air hauler too, so it's not really starting up. Because I had a problem yesterday, it kept hanging at like 29% loading. So I went this route. Alright. Go ahead and start her up. Of course, as always, she came up running, so we're not going to prime it up. The parking brake, as you can see, is on. Go ahead and open the throttle about 1/4 of an inch. Make sure it isn't idle cutoff. Propeller area is clear. Master switch comes on. The beacon comes on as well. People know we're going to start up. Like I say, we're not going to prime it. So let's go ahead and see if we can get her. Actually, I got to give her a little bit of fuel. Now we can go. Just a little more throttle, and I'm going to back this out to 40. Go ahead and turn on all of our electronics. We got to actually, hold on. See, I got ahead of myself. Sometimes I do that with the procedures. I don't know why. Alright. Oil pressure in the green, as is the temperature. The navigation lights come on. Alright, so we got to check the electrical system first. Taxi and landing lights are coming on. Wait. Master switch has to go off. Daggone it. Okay, so the lights are on. We're at idle. Master switch, you now come on. You can see the amperage drop. I'm going to go up to 1500. You can see it coming up. There's that clanking from the engine. Alright, so we're out 1500. We can obviously see that the ammeter came back up. No low voltage problems there. Bring this back down. Taxi and landing lights come off. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the pitot heat. Alright, avionics master switch now, you come on. Just turning this stuff on too early. Alright, well, everything came on. I didn't have to come through and click them one by one. That's kind of weird. 6,500 feet. And this is in... That needs to be in standby. That's kind of weird. I don't know how that stuff all came up like that. Odd. Alright, the flaps are retracted. All of our radios are on. Low fuel. Well, I don't know why that is. We actually need to figure this out. It needs to be in 7. I'm glad that thing popped up. I'm going to put this to like 40 pounds. And I'm going to make the passengers lighter until we get down to our weight tier. Because the payload is, what, 707? But I think that might still be overweight. Shall see. What if I get this guy to like to 168? I'm trying to make them all even. Oh, there it is. 707 right there. So we'll leave that one at 176. I think that's close enough. Shouldn't have any problem there. By the way, some people like the headphones on. I don't know yet if we use it all the time. There you go. Makes it quieter, for sure. Alright. Let's hit up ATC and have them get us out of here. We're going out to the west.
Huntington ground, Cessna, November 727
Switch
Fort
up
Hotel with
GPS.
Oscar. Request taxi for takeoff.
Give me 30.
West departure.
Cessna, November
Yes, it is 30.
7 Fort Hotel. Taxi to and hold short of runway 30 to taxi rate.
I believe it's 299 is the actual heading. Something like 299, 297. Something like that. Acknowledge our taxi clearance.
Runway 30 using taxiway Alpha.
Yeah, this is
Cessna
weird.
7
How come
Ford
this stuff is
Hotel.
all... It didn't come up normal. Usually it's exactly how you... Oh, maybe it's because the computer blue screen on me. We didn't actually shut it off correctly and everything. That's probably what it is. It's so weird that it even happened because I was thinking the other day, literally like a day or two ago, I said, hey, it's been so long since my computer is ever blue screened or anything, because it's usually because of voltage and heat. It used to after I originally set it up. And then, what do you know, a day or two later, boom. By the way, where is the... Because when I took off yesterday, when I was doing this flight, I took off midway through. I think it's right up here. Instead of going all the way to the end down there, I took off part way through. Yeah, there it is. Actually, I might have taken off right there. I'll take off right here, because there's plenty of room. Get myself back over on the taxi. I'm talking and all that stuff. Yeah, I can't believe she blue screened, and that was like my last flight of the day. And what do you know? It screws up. I hate that you spend all that time flying and getting everything set up, the video and everything, and then boom, right as we're... There was actually a plane about to come on the runway too, and it hitched twice, and I thought, oh, she's getting jagged, and all of a sudden, boom, blue screen. It's just too hot in the room because I had the AC off for a while. I don't run it obviously when I'm doing a recording. Makes too much daggone noise. Pull on right over here. Here we go right here. Go ahead and stop. Right here, I'm going to put on the parking brake. We'll do our run up here. Parking brake is in fact set. Seats, we don't care about all that. The flight controls. Rudder pedals. Out. Alright, that's all good. I like how even the cord under the yoke. Like, that's crazy. I love that. Alright. Flight instruments, everything is set. GPS, our heading is set. Let's check our fuel. We should have 7 in each. That was down to 6. That's alright. So, fuel quantity, mixture was full rich. Fuel selector valve is on both. So we'll throttle up here to 1800. It's about 1800 right there. Check our mags. It's actually right, I went too far. Alright, I would say that passes right there. Vacuum gauge in the green, barely. Ammeter is good. Nothing in the annunciator panel except for the low fuel, which can't help. Alright, so this goes to 1,000 or less. Throttle friction lock, we don't worry about that. Strobe lights and landing lights. By the way, I'll go ahead and how's the taxi light off? Did I not have that on? I even thought about checking that when we started a taxi. I thought, oh, it's on. I don't know why. Go over to the tower, request our clearance.
Tower, Cessna, November
While they're doing that,
727
the radios and
Ford Hotel,
avionics,
ready
everything
for
is
departure
set.
West at runway
6,500
30.
feet.
Cessna, November 727 Ford
Elevator
Hotel,
trim or
cleared
trim for
takeoff,
takeoff.
runway 30,
We're kind of heavy. I'll still
West
just use 1 notch of flaps.
Clear for
Alright, so we're
takeoff,
clear,
runway
they say.
30. Cessna 7 Ford
Slide
Hotel.
down here. Make sure. Check it out. Make sure the tower guy isn't an idiot. Alright, so flaps are set, because I don't know how we forgot that one time. Parking brake is off. Do one thing as well. Turn off these messages. And resize this GPS as well. There you go. Scroll on up to full power. Get on out of here. Just 55 knots. We'll go ahead and bring her up. Off to the right a little. Let's push it to the right because she always comes up a little bit to the left usually. That nose down just a little bit more. So we'll pick up some more airspeed. Alright, air hauler's got us, so we're up in the air. We're at 60 knots. I'm going to go ahead and retract the flaps. Alright, at 70 knots. Coming right at 700 feet a minute. The great thing about Cincinnati, man, is literally in a straight line. Like when you come off and land on runway 12, it's literally, you are perfectly lined up with runway 12. It's such a short flight for us, like I say, what, 107 miles, I think? That nose still got to trim it down a little bit. It's a little better. Could go ahead and turn on our autopilot. Navigation. Whoops. Vertical speed. Climb at 700 feet a minute from now. We'll go ahead and arm the altitude for the 6,500 feet. At about 80 knots. Make sure I haven't forgot anything. It seems like I usually do. I can't believe I took off with flaps that one episode. I can't believe that when we were leaving Cincinnati. The thing is, the flaps are at the second to the bottom, so I kind of get down there and it's like, we've got everything. Completely missed it. Alright, 2,300 feet is the rivers. I think that's the Ohio and the Big Sandy. I-64 should be right over there. There's I-64. We could go outside, but there's not a whole lot to see.
Cessna 7, Fort Hotel. You are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Show thing. Can't remember if I did write down, I think I've got Addons. I didn't talk about Addons, but we got Addons written down in the last flight. 134.375. Alright, we're 2,800 feet. Speed is still alright. Climbing speed is supposed to be 70 to 85. We're just over 70. About 75 knots. We'll have to slow our climb down a little bit here in a second. Now we're at 3,000, so I'm going to go ahead and start leaning out the mixture. Alright, well, let's check out our GPS. It says we're 102 miles out, just over an hour to get there. But, so I'll go ahead and speed her up, though, because there's not a lot to see. We're kind of in a nothing area. No, I live here, in this nothing area. I'll go ahead and speed her up, and be back in just a little bit. Alright, everybody, slowing her down here. We're 18 miles out, up at 6,500 feet. Let's select our approach. We're going on a course for 18 right. And vectors, load that. Let's see, we don't have any of those. That's alright. Go ahead and activate the approach. It's going to take us a little out to the right, 186. It seems a little too far out to the right, though. Is that 314? There's some pretty strong winds out here. So I'm going to let her go on down to 2,400. Need to move that. 2,400, armed for the altitude. Our ILS frequency. I don't think the ILS here is it's either not right or it doesn't work. Because I've flown here twice now, the ILS hasn't worked, but I'll try it again. 110.75. Like I say, I don't think it works. There's something wrong. I don't know if it's the wrong frequency or what. But I've been here the past couple times and it hasn't worked. $110.75 set on both. Can hit up Addons. It's 134. And it's 375. I think it goes to 37 and it'll come on. It worked the last time. Oh, shoot. Oh, that should be on. Oh, wait. That's why it's not working. There we go.
Airport information, Lima.
Forgot to turn it over.
Wind 210 at 6. Visibility greater than 20 miles. Sky conditions, ceiling 3,300.
Zoom in over here.
Temperature 28. Viewpoint 23. Altimeter
18 left and 18 right are in use. We'd use it anyway. We're already set up for it.
Runway 18 right in use. Landing and departing runway 18 left and runway 18 right.
3012.
Give our aircraft a direction of flight. All aircraft read back
There we
all
go.
short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You at Lima.
Alright. Heading on down. And we're not going to make a far off approach or anything. We'll come in pretty close. Coming up on 5,000 feet. Let's just go to 50. And we'll go ahead and speed her up to 2x. Or else it'll take a long time for us to get there. Like I say, down to 2,400 feet. It's weird why it still says the desired track is 186. I guess that's coming in from here. The actual approach. That's gotta be it. So I guess it is gonna be 186 because in here on FlightSim Commander, maybe it says 184. Could be wrong. All right, just crossed 5,000 feet. There's Cincinnati over there on the banks of the Ohio. Here's Covington. This whole area, I believe, is Covington, Kentucky. Like I said in one episode, the airport is actually in Kentucky. It's actually the Northern Kentucky Cincinnati Airport. It's actually, everybody just says Cincinnati. And by the way, I'm going to go ahead, let me move this over just a little bit. And we're going to switch over to heading. We'll come in kind of close. I don't know, maybe we should get out a little bit more. Kind of, we're right at the approach actually. Do that. It will come in quicker. Alright, we're coming up on 4,000. We should probably descend a little bit quicker. Move it to 500. We want to get down to 2,400 when we're over here. Actually, I'm going to come out to the right a little bit more. If we come over here, it's going to be a tight turn, and we'll end up wobbling back and forth. So I'll come out a little more. See, one thing about with this plane, if you're not going normal speed, when you start moving the heading, she does this. So slow her down until she gets corrected. We should enrich the mixture here. We're at 3,500 feet. We're at 1,100 to go. Still just a little bit more out to the right. That way we can come in a little better. 1,000 feet to go. She's a little jagged. A lot of scenery here. Everything's extremely dense. We need to descend a little bit quicker. Coming up on 3,000. Let me go ahead and full rich on the mixture. Are we at 2x? Or did I already move it down to normal? Alright, I'll leave it there actually. Because we're about to turn. We could almost start our turn, but if I do, we're going to be a little high. Because we're a little lax on the descent. Pull back on the throttle just a little bit. We're almost in the yellow there. With our speed. Alright, let's cut over to the west. It's 186 when we make our final turn here to the runway. In fact, I think the easiest way that we could do that, switch over to nav. I'm going to go ahead and set this to 186. See, I was going to go ahead and turn her to the left. There she goes. Just starting to wonder. Come in around 100 knots or so. I'm trying to remember, I think it's 800 feet or I'll put it at 700 feet. I can't completely remember the altitude of the runway. We're on our way down. Let's see if this, I don't think this works. Let's see if she does or not. Let's see if the Alice works. Nope, see? Doesn't work. We need to get down. I'm gonna pull back on the throttle a little bit because been struggling getting down. When it blue screened, I was having trouble getting down in time. Pull back on the throttle a little bit more and try and get us around 100 knots. Getting off the track a little bit as well. ahead and make this 186. Because I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the autopilot. So we need to get down. Right on the glide slope. Just what we wanted. About to get high, it felt like. Yep, right there. Flaps coming out. Trying to fight that ballooning effect. Flaps to 20. Wow, she's really ballooning me. If we had passengers, they'd be pissed. See, I've gotten myself way too high. With all that ballooning. There we go.
100.
Nice. Try it, because we're so out of trim. That's the problem.
50. 40. 30.
We're going to float her along.
20. 10.
Says it was okay. Well, like a little better. Man, you can see we were wobbling up and down. She was so far out of trim. You know, and that ballooning effect. That's the only thing about, like, people say, wait until the last second. Not necessarily the last second, but to get everything out, the flaps and everything. But the thing is, with this plane, man, that ballooning effect, it just throws you right up in the air. And then that happens. And then we end up too high. And the only thing I can think is come in slightly low. And then when you hit your flaps, it'll get you up on the glide slope. But yeah, coming in on the glide slope and then hitting the flaps late, man, it balloons you up so much, it's hard to get back on track. And I was totally out of trim and everything. Alright. Strobe, landing lights, you can come off. Taxi light, you stay on. I've already leaned this up to 40. Flaps are retracted. Go ahead and turn that to standby. Forgot to turn that on when we took off, because it doesn't say anything about it. I guess if you say radios and electronics, it could mean that. I don't recall this totally from yesterday. Alright, last flight here. Oh, by the way, just go right over here. Yeah, I can't really recall seeing any of this. I think we were actually a little bit further on back when I landed yesterday. Where is it? It's kind of weird because I wanted Win 8 right anyway. I guess there it is, right there. There's a little parking area for us. Come right on over here. This didn't do any damage or anything. It wasn't the best landing. It wasn't too bad. It said it was okay. It got smooth the last couple times, which is kind of interesting. Because I've never seen that before. A little bit. Stopped a little short there. Come on, girl. A little bit further. There we go. We'll separate here. Parking brake is on. Alright, parking brake is set. Electrical equipment need to all come off. Be easier with you off as well. Let's see. Turn all off. Alright. Avionics master switch, you come off. This goes to auto cutoff, pitot heat, taxi light. Turn off all the lights. Magnetos. Master switch. And I know it. Here we go. Control lock. Alright. Let's go over to air hauler. Get ourselves paid. Finish the flight monitoring. Alright. Took off at 103, landed at 2:16, hour and 13 minutes. Took off with 77 pounds of fuel, landed with 52, using 25 pounds. Max altitude 6,561 feet. Max pitch negative 10.9, max roll 20. Max speed 126.5, minimum G's 0.57, minimum G's exceeded 0. Max G's 1.36, max exceeded 0. That's because at the end, trying to fight those daggone flaps. Stall false, overspeed false, landing description was okay. Landing gear down true, asphalt will be landed on. No damage to the surface or the plane. Came out 202. Yeah, that was kind of quick. That's quick. Landing speed 41.1. Landing pitch negative 9.8. Landing roll 0.79. Heading was 189. Landing wind speed 6. Direction 220. Alright. So that's done. We'll go ahead and unload her. Cigarettes. Unloaded. Plastics. Unloaded. Let's see. Clothing. Now see, that probably won't come up as a mission. Why didn't... It doesn't trade in clothing. Uh-oh. I was expecting a huge payday. See, how do you do that then? Because mission to KCVG. See, they want clothes. Supply goods. Supply from Skyhawk. How much? We have 418. I'm glad I saw that little button down there. Gee, Christmas. Commodities supplied. Still take a bunch of that. It didn't say anything. Let's see if we get anything over here. Mission reputation 21.9. So we got it. Hells yeah. Mission rep. We only went up 0.9. I guess that's because we didn't do the full weight. We didn't have enough. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Now we're up to 32, man. We're only 8 away. That could still be a lot of flights though. But if we can do like passengers and maybe a little bit of stuff like that, the mission, like Huntington, what's lab equipment? And for something like that, you either have to find somewhere here that makes lab equipment or set up a factory somewhere that makes lab equipment and start doing that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool. We got that. So we need to check out our money. We should be loaded now. Yeah, we were just in debt. Now we're at 55 grand. That pays what? 4 times? Almost? 14, 20, yeah, almost 4 times. Which is pretty cool. Let's try one thing. Can you buy stuff from there? Let's check something out. So batteries are going to cost $10. Electronics are 19. Let's check out our factory. Battery packs. So I think, does Huntington, I don't know if they need to have to absolutely be in the battery pack, like that's what they want. So like batteries obviously has like Indianapolis. Do you take, see, battery packs I think are level 2, aren't they? By the way, are there now, so there are going to be jobs from Cincinnati, so maybe we won't take watches back. We'll have to see. If there's commodities going up here, that would be pretty cool. But very quickly, just because like I was saying, Factories. Alright, so 2 batteries and 1 electronics. 2 batteries and 1 electronics. I'm not going to buy a bunch because we're just going to test this out. So 2 batteries. We gotta go to Huntington. Alright, 2 batteries. I want to buy 2. Buy 2, send them over to our base storage area. And we need 1 electronics. 1. Alright, so we spent, what, $39? By the way, I wanted to check out something else on the finance. Let's look at our ledger here. So we paid $9,200 for the cigarettes. We sold them for $10,800, so that's pretty good. $1,680. Made $4,500 from our plastics and $40,128 there. And we spent $39 on that right there. So let's go over here. Stock and manufacturing. So let's move this over to our factory. Manufacturing battery packs, quantity of just 1. Takes 6 minutes. Add to the queue. Build 1 pound of battery packs for $39. Now, I don't know if it's going to take an actual 6 minutes in real life. So, I don't know. This thing is so weird how the tabs keep building and building and building. Alright, so it's not built yet. Tell you what, I'll wait here and we'll fast forward until it's done. We'll sell it and make sure we get at least $39. So, be right back. Alright, add to actually was like 3 seconds later. Alright, so add ship and stock. Battery packs, can we move over here to our airport base? Now we gotta figure out exactly how to sell that. £1 pound of battery pack. That doesn't help anything, does it? Now, what if I put it in the... Why does it still say that we have clothing? It's kind of odd. It has 0. Available. Oh, that's... I was going to say put it in the plane and then unload it, but that's not going to work because the plane's in Cincinnati. It's kind of weird how this goes, and these things, they keep building and building and building. I don't know. Airport base. So maybe you got to be able to sell it to your base. I know you can. I'm just not sure exactly how we do it because I don't know how to sell that. If I put it back to the factory, so I'm not seeing the sell button. Own parts inventory. See, shouldn't we have like own parts inventory? Shouldn't we have like a freaking battery pack? Commodity database. Yeah. Kind of confusing. So I guess maybe you have to ship them. I thought you could sell them right back to the base. I'm just not totally sure how. I don't know if you can put it in your plane and then unload it and sell it. Because, of course, like we saw that sell. Huh. I don't know. Let's look at the cargo jobs real quick. From Cincinnati. Wow, that's really heavy. It pays a ton. $7,900. Wow. I mean, that pays a ton. That's just a little bit shorter and pays half. So that's not a good choice. I mean, you would have to do that, right? Almost $8,000. I mean, that's a ton of money. We could do a lot with that. And then also offline, I'll try and see if I can't sell that battery pack. Because we need $39 to get our money back and make a little money. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. I hope you all did enjoy it. I'll catch you guys on the next flight.